Hi everyone. Today I would like to talk about what happened with me after I recognized my true nature in the conversation that I had with David Bingham that is now almost 3 years ago. I can't believe it. Also, I took my glasses off because there was so much reflection in my glasses from the video screen that I decided to just take them off. There's less distraction. So I was listening today to a video, and I don't remember exactly um, where it came from, but Rupert Spira was in it, and a couple of other non-duality teachers, and it was the first time that I heard somebody explain what happens when you recognize your true nature, and then you still have to deal with the body mind. And it was so there it was so nice to hear that there is such a thing as falling back, which is of course not falling back, but the idea that now you're dealing with two entities, your true self and your body. And they were also explaining that there is a lot of shadow work to do. Like you recognize your true nature, you know you're not your body, you know you're not your thoughts, you're the big I, you're the awareness that is using the body mind to have this earthly experience. But that doesn't mean that now all of a sudden you are in that blissful state all the time. And I speak about that a lot, that it's not because you know that you're not your body, you're not your mind. And you also know that the body mind is the vehicle that you use to have this earthly experience. But lately, I become much more in touch with the idea that, and I was talking to a friend a couple of days ago, and we were talking about this topic, and I said to her, it looks to me like the hardware and the software. The hardware is my body, the software is my mind, the programming, the limited beliefs, the everything that is like already planned out. And then my infinite being, the divine presence, is like you put the electric cord in it, like you let the electricity flow through it. And depending on how much and how intense, there is like another effect. And so I spoke to you guys about how I can just sit here now and feel emotions arising. They come up, but I know that they're not me and I can just let them go. And if I allow it, they go away. But for the longest time in those 3 year period, I had to figure out that like my mind was completely making me crazy. Like it would be like, oh, you think you recognize your true nature? Let's play a game with you. Let's just see how enlightened you are. Um, and it would just make me feel the anxiety of certain things that would happen in my life, and I would know that I it's my limited beliefs who create the reality, and I can just look at it from afar and just laugh and just say, okay, funny, where is this coming from? And I do that sometimes, but it doesn't work all the time. When there are people involved, when like my kids were like visiting for the last month, my children, my grandchildren, we had a lot of people in the house. I got triggered, but not anymore to the point that it is annoying. But now I get triggered to the point that it is fun. Like I see myself in my children, I see myself in my grandchildren. I see the programming that comes from our ancestors. I see how my body mind how my programs are running my reality, while my infinite being is looking at it and says, that's so interesting. And so I feel sometimes like there's a separation between who I really am and the persona that has this experience. And so I always said, I don't want to sit on a mountaintop and be there happy and delusional. That is not me. I enjoy the earthly experience. I enjoy food. I enjoy um, good conversations. I enjoy music. I enjoy making art. I enjoy inspiring people. Um, Not necessarily in the non-duality space, also just regular. I enjoy human interaction, although very happy on my own. But I realize that those outside things, even meditation, is still a tool that you think you need to do in order to get to the point of the awakening. That because the meditation you're gonna be, you can become more awake, like you can really recognize your true nature. I came to the point to realize that there is nothing to do. It Nothing outside of me can, let's say my mind is tricking me and it is like creating a certain trigger. Now, before that, I thought, oh, I have to meditate. I have to meditate and then let that, I have to work on that. Just the idea that you would say, I have to work on that, doing the work. And I speak about doing the work because, again, we need to use the language that everybody understands. If I'm going to say there's not, like a lot of non-duality, there's nothing to do, there's nothing to say, whatever, it's all, there's nothing. I I understand that and I know that it is true, but I also understand that it doesn't help somebody that is on the path of transformation, that is on the path of enlightenment, that is on the path of, that is the seeker. The seeker has no message on the idea that there's nothing to do. I made a video on that, that my son says to me, Mom, you think it's fair that you're going to tell everybody there is nothing to do? You're meditating for 40 years and you do the work for 40 years and you go to all the workshops and you did all the energy healing and all the stuff. And now you're going to tell people there's nothing to do? Come on, that's not fair. And he's right. That is not fair because there is we are on a path and we do certain things, but I realize right now that the doing is not coming from something outside of us. Like when I get triggered right now, let's say I see something with my kids and I feel a certain feeling coming up, also can be sadness or shame or um anger. I don't have that much anymore, thank God. But I do, like, I feel lately a lot of shame. Not sure where that's coming from, but I can feel, if people ask me, what do you feel? I feel shame. I sat with it and I know it's shame. And but I also know that there is nothing to do with it. I can just sit with it and look at it with curiosity and let it just dissolve. Poof. I said it yesterday too. It just gone. It just gone. So where was I going with this whole conversation is the fact that once you see that who you really are, you recognize your true nature, it doesn't mean that there is no journey anymore. It doesn't mean that you're there. And I know some people will be there. Maybe they did the work before. Maybe they have another journey, but it is not necessary. It is not necessary that you got all your stuff already figured out the moment that you recognize your true nature. And that was it was so good for me because the now I'm speaking what is like coming through me. This is not, I can hear my ego like trying to come in. Like, are you, do you have any idea what you're saying right now to people? You're just mumbling. That's what's my ego is telling me now. And you didn't even prepare what you're saying. What are you doing? This is so unprofessional. You're just talking to people. Who do you think you are? That's what my mind is trying to tell me. But I know that the feeling that I have, the blissful feeling comes from the understanding that I am not my thoughts. I am not my thoughts, and I know who I am. And even my own mind cannot fool me anymore. My own mind, like, is trying to convince me that I'm just a human being, small, um, like I can just see, not see. I can just the experience is that the thoughts are arising, the thoughts are coming, and it is the same thing as like I'm breathing in and I'm breathing out. The thought is coming and the thought is going, and they have no value. There is no attachment anymore. Maybe that's a good way of saying it. There's no attachment to those feelings. Lately, I have a lot of lucid dreams, and I am in scenarios that I realize, oh my God, this is like like another dimension. This is me, and I'm having like an experience in a total different dimension. And it is as real as if I'm talking to you right now. But I know that it is in a different dimension. What I also realize is that there are things that I'm doing that I know that I shift through different realities. There are certain things that I find that I wrote down in my journals and in my books that I keep for all the stuff that I'm doing during the day, and that I don't remember that I did that. And then when I lift it up, I can go to that reality, and then I realize, and then I know everything again. So it's like my experience, and my experience is that I'm shifting through different realities, that I have different movies at the same time, and that I can just go where um I can't do it voluntarily. I don't think I can just shift from one to the other on demand, but I can go to, I am living them all at the same time. And I don't allow my thoughts anymore to say, you're crazy. You're crazy. And I know I did that my whole life. But my mind always was beating me up for that. Like, you forgot, or you, now I know I didn't forget. I was just in another reality. And that's why it's not, that's why it's not present in this reality. And they're all very similar, but they're also not. And I don't allow my thoughts anymore. I don't allow anything outside of the big I to annoy me. And I'm not saying it doesn't try, it tries all the time. And in the first year or two, 2.5, it's only recently that I'm getting very clear, because before I was I would take the ride, like in the conversation with David. I I said I'm never gonna take the ride anymore. Oh yes, I did. Oh yes, I did. But the difference was that every time once I got on the ride, I realized it right away. And a couple of times I could even jump off. So it's not like, and I'm happy that I listened to a video with um, non-duality teachers that explain that phenomena. Because before that, I thought you're in or you're out. You recognize your true nature or you don't. You know? No, it's not that way. You recognize your true nature, and then there is cleaning up to do. And then you have to allow the things to unfold. They're coming up just like the grass is growing. You cannot force the grass. If you cannot go to the grass and pull it out of the ground, it doesn't work that way. It's the same with you. Your life is just unfolding. Your thoughts are creating those realities. You cannot make it. That is one of the laws, the law of gestation. There, everything has a growing time. A baby is in the womb for 9 months. You don't go look at the baby in the middle and say, come on, it has to come out soon. We know that's not a good thing. It's the same. Even if you recognize your true nature, this, knowing that there is a baby, there is still a time that it will take. And I think that it is very personal, that it's going to be different for everybody, that the time will be different, it looks different, but it is beautiful and magic. So I hope this makes sense to you. If it does, let me know. And also, please share, like, subscribe, so that I know that at least a couple of people are benefiting from my videos, because I love sharing my journey with you guys and I love getting feedback. So please let me know if this gives you any value. And if you want to work with me in person, just reach out to me. Send me an email, make an appointment in my schedule, and let's figure out how we can make that happen. Have a wonderful day, you guys. Bye for now, and see you in the next video.